Baltic Sea is particularly sensitive to pollution due to the low diversity of species and the slow exchange of water. If a disaster similar in scale to the Prestige occurred in the Baltic Sea, its impact would be felt for a very long time. In comparison to other seas and oceans, there have been few oil spill accidents in the Baltic Sea. At the same time, shipping accidents are quite frequent here, mostly because of the shallow waters and complicated navigation routes. Most of the oil pollution in the Baltic Sea derives from rivers and atmosphere, but even though oil carriers are responsible for only about 10% of the oil spills, the damage done to the marine wildlife is enormous. Some 2,000 vessels are concurrently sailing the Baltic Sea, and the number is rising. Most of them are freight ships, among them oil tankers carrying about 200 million tons of oil per year. Latvia's coastline is most threatened by the oil transportation route connecting eastern ports of the Gulf of Finland with the ports in the North Sea, where 50% of Russia's total oil export is being transported. As the number of ships sailing in the Baltic Sea rises, the number of accidents is on the rise too. In 2007, 120 accidents were registered, 4 of them causing oil spills. In 2008, 135 accidents, including 9 oil spills. Compared to the seas and oceans, inland water basins are safer from large-scale oil spills. Minor leakages occur regularly in harbors during the pumping process, on railways where oil is transported in tank wagons, and from the pipeline network stretching across many countries. There are 2 major pipelines crossing our territory. The oil pipeline Polotsk-Ventspils reaches across several protected areas and nature reserves in Zemgale and Kurzeme. Moreover, the western coastline of Latvia lies on a major migration route for birds. In March 2007, a pipeline burst in Belarus. Part of the 220 tons of diesel fuel that leaked into the environment reached the Daugava River and was carried on into the territory of Latvia. The Latvian Coast Guard and the State Firefighting and Rescue Service were the first to respond. Rescuers were ready to act, but their equipment was not suitable for inland waters. This was the first accident of such kind in Latvia, and it was soon obvious that the marine booms are very difficult to use in rivers. The powerful spring current carried the booms downstream with great force. Tactics were changed on the go, and the lightest booms were chosen. During the cleanup operation, all the booms available to the rescue service were put to use. More were brought from Sweden and Lithuania later on. The floating oil slick was successfully collected, thus preventing a major environmental disaster. Latvia is located on the East Atlantic flyway of birds. Every spring and autumn, birds of more than 300 species make a stop in the coastal areas to feed and rest. Especially large numbers of migrating birds can be found around Cape Kolka. In case of an oil spill, seabirds are the primary victims. There are more than 20 bird species in Latvia which feed and rest in the sea. If an accident happened on one of the main Baltic shipping lanes, it would take only a few days for the pollution to reach the coast. Depending on the wind direction and speed, the pollution is most likely to hit the coastline of Kurzeme. If an accident occurred on the sea route connecting Ventspils and Riga, it might affect the coasts of the Gulf of Riga and Estonia. Most of the Latvian coastline is white sandy beach. If the wind is strong, the oil-stained sand may get buried under a new layer of sand, washed ashore by the sea. Therefore, it is vital that the rescuers collect the oil before it gets covered by sand. If they fail to do that, oil spill cleanup may become very difficult and expensive.